I am retired Lieutenant Joe Torrillo from the New York City Fire Department, one of the few actual survivors of the collapse of the Twin Towers. And I was right outside the South Tower, and I heard a roar, and I looked up, and the building started coming. I started running, but I didn't make it. The wind pressure lifted me off of my feet. A piece of steel hit me in the back of the head, split the back of my head open, and huge slabs of concrete were just hitting my body. And with every slab of concrete, more and more bones were breaking, and now I'm buried under the South Tower. I was declared dead for 3 days until they found me in a hospital in New Jersey with massive body injuries. And through my recovery from my injuries, I started having a lot of serious injuries, and not just injuries, but more illnesses. And one of the problems I was having a little after 9/11, right up till today, I was getting this red blotchy appearances all over me, and I've been going to a lot of dermatologists and trying to figure out what it is. They were misdiagnosing it until I found out about Dr. Chasin. And Dr. Chasin, after talking with me for about a good 45 minutes, and no other doctor took that time for me, he started looking at me. He was asking me all kinds of questions and asking me, do I work with chemicals? And I told him, no, I don't work with chemicals. He says, well, you have a reaction to something. This is not what you were being treated for before. I said, I realized that because nothing was working. And then I told him a little bit about me and the history of 9/11. And he says, wow, he said, you were buried in all that chemicals and toxins and asbestos. And I said, yeah. So he says to me, it looks like you're having a reaction to that stuff. He says, I can't say 100% for sure, but I've never seen anything like this. So he says, I'm going to start treating you with all different kinds of lasers that'll hopefully try and clear this stuff up. I wasted so much money until I finally found Dr. Chasin. And I would have to tell anybody, if his office was up in Canada, I would walk there just to go and see him because that's how much I believe in him.
Our goals are to use a pulse dye laser, which is a vascular laser, and what we're doing is two things. Number one, we're closing down these dilated blood vessels, and number two, we're using it as an anti-inflammatory device to bring down the inflammation that we see here. These are physically dilated blood vessels. So you're going to be a little puffy for a couple of days, all right?
Yeah, no problem.
But wait till you see. It's going to improve pretty dramatically again.
How many more treatments do you think I need?
One more.